amakuru marungi. UBC West ina amakuru marungi kandi agari kwesigwa. Rero za program zayo ziri omurunya kitara hamwe n'urufumbira. UBC West ine teknolojia ey'omurembe eri kugibasa kwika omu bicweka byona omwihanga nangu naheru y'ihanga. Tukwatire aha frequencies Kisoro chenda na mushanju katonyeze mushanju fama. Kabari chenda neshatu katonyeze mushanju fama. Hoima chenda na mwenda katonyeze mwe fama. Kampala igane itano katonyeze mushanju fama. Mbarara chenda na mushanju katonyeze ina fama. Futpoto chenda na mnana katonyeze munana fama. Masindi igane itano fama. Kurikiriza UBC West ohurire mbaganiza. UBC West empika huna.
Patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Uganda, Office of the President.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Do it the okay.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. The darkness inside you can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors. colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Beautiful. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful. Oh, they are beautiful. Oh, like a rainbow. Like a rainbow. Oh, like a rainbow. Like a rainbow. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful. They are beautiful, oh, like a rainbow. Yeah, like a rainbow, like a rainbow.
Well, really beautiful. You would actually think that revealing your true colors could be an easy thing, but it's absolutely not. If the world did that, it would be very easy for everyone and everybody. Well, that is a very beautiful message coming in from Valarheey. Yes, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sound so amazing this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? I'm well. How are you?
Oh, okay, I'm great. How was the experience like today waking up this early? Do you usually wake up?
I do. I'm a 5 a.m. club person.
I'm impressed. So this was not really a surprise.
No, it was.
It was very easy for you to get along. Clearly, I can actually tell you look fresh and you're glowing and all. For somebody who doesn't wake up this early every single day, they wouldn't be looking like you. Good morning, Uganda. Friday edition is happening right now, and of course, like always, we promise to entertain, we promise to loosen up a little bit, and also just to make sure that we help you usher in the weekend. It's been quite a crazy week, honestly. A lot has been happening. There's been quite some anxiety in there. There's been a lot of tension. So I mean, Friday is that day we actually make use of to make sure that we tone it down a bit, okay, to relax and chill, like other people usually call it. Yes, my name is Philomena Mastiko once again, and again, I do have Mollen, Kenyena with me. I have Robert Kirabo. Maybe we need to find out how they actually spent this week, or what they have to say about this week. Good morning, Mollen.
Well, a very good morning to you, Philo. I mean, the week has been good, and it's a Friday now. We're just getting in the music, and I'm telling you, what Valarheey did bring this morning is just that version of True Colors that I'm like, okay, Phil Collins didn't do justice to this song. So hearing her, put it out, I'm like, yeah, this is the version I actually was waiting for. I am telling you, it really does take to the sound of the original version of the song, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, so
well, she did really add a person. I would dare Robert to do something for us like that, but good morning, Robert.
Well, if I'm to do that, there are so many things I'd ask. One would be a banana, then water. I'm a vocalist, so I have to prepare.
Robert.
Philo, do you want to dare
are everything
me?
But not that.
Do you want to dare me?
I want to dare you.
Okay. Good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Mine was wonderful. That is just a bit of it. You know, she can tell you because she knows. If the guitar was on, then I would really...
They're giving you that guitar.
Are you actually going to do this? Okay.
Well, I'll save this for another day. Otherwise, when she was doing the number, you know, such music, by then, there is a way you get word by word, and she did it so perfectly that I felt I was going to another world. So I was fighting to keep my presence here, not to be taken up. But I must say she did it justice. My week has been fine. You asked about my week. It's really been fine. I've been enjoying the political arena. Most affairs happening in the Privileges, Rules and Disciplinary Committee of Parliament, where we see Zake, Kenyena municipality. Now you see Uganda Communications Commission comes and says, we cannot authenticate that this is, it was his Twitter page. So there's been so much drama happening in the August House, and I was keenly following and enjoying the theater in Parliament.
Well, it's really, really crazy. And even aside from that, a lot has also been happening on the international scene. We're seeing the Ukraine and Russian war still happening, and we're getting updates. Actually, the two countries have kind of come to a certain agreement on certain things that is concerning creating corridors, at least for medics to come in and be able to do what they're supposed to do, and also not to hurt any civilians. But that doesn't mean this is this is about to end. But we can only hope and pray that everything gets into the perfect fit for, you know, for us to have peace restored in the country and even the globe. Well, it's time we take a look at what is happening or what made the news, that is on the local scene and on the international scene. And Robert will be coming in with some of those stories.
And we'll kick it off with good news to those that are saving with NSSF and qualify for the midterm benefits, where yesterday the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development came out clearly to state that come 7th, this very month, they can now start applying to get the money. The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, said NSSF savers eligible for midterm benefits will start applying next week, beginning the 7th of March this year. She was addressing the media in Kampala. On the 2nd of January this year, President Yoweri Museveni assented to the NSSF Amendment Act 2022, forming a law upon publication of the Gazette on the 7th of February that some savers above 45 years will be eligible to midterm access. However, there has since been lack of clarity within the public on some eligibility terms that the law presents. After consultations with the board of NSSF and commencement date for funds access was set, and eligible members will be free to apply. In the last few months, NSSF has been developing capabilities to efficiently process these amendments, with priority being given to installing technology that automatically validates for validation processes. Now the National Social Security Fund says all is set should the date for application begin, which is on the 7th, for people to apply, only those that do qualify under the law.
To yesterday's celebrations for Wildlife Day. Now, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, has called upon the Finance Minister to increase on the funding and increase budgeting allocations towards the tourism sector. The Vice President, who emphasized quick support to Uganda Wildlife Education Center and sister organizations while commemorating the World Wildlife Day held in Entebbe. Now, the biggest percentage of Uganda's tourism potential is in wildlife, which contributes to the biggest contributor on the country's gross domestic product. The theme for the day was recovering endangered species for ecosystems restoration and is therefore timely. The representatives of the delegation of the European Union, Aliho Pacifica, commended the government for its continued efforts to preserve nature and pledged full support in terms of funding and capacity building.
On the same note, the Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Education Center, highlighted on the need for budget adjustments. As a way of strengthening community conservation efforts, USAID donated funds to facilitate the construction of a dairy cooling plant in Rimpango, which has for many years been a controversy between Lake Mboro National Park and the surrounding community.
And away from Wildlife Day commemoration, we now move to Mulago Hospital, where we see the Executive Director, Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Biaruhanga Baterana, was interdicted. A letter signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, circulating on social media, shows that the Executive Director, Mulago Hospital, Dr. Baterana, will keep away from work. But his lawyers told a press conference detesting the way the whole case has been handled when there is a pending case. Dr. Baterana was arrested by State House Health Monitoring Unit on alleged offenses of embezzlement and causing financial loss of 28 billion Uganda shillings to government. Since Monday this week, Baterana has been in police custody pending investigation. He was released on police bond after recording a statement. But the letter signed by the Permanent Secretary and Ministry of Health shows that he has been interdicted. The Chairman, National Organization of Trade Union, Wilson Were, and Dr. Deogracius Munembe from Mulago Hospital stood sureties for Dr. Baterana to be released on police bond as investigations continue.
Back to Parliament. In another story, the Parliamentary Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline have engaged officials from Uganda Communications Commission in the ongoing investigations into the alleged misconduct of Kenyena Municipality Member of Parliament Francis Zake. Although UCC has failed to retrieve the alleged social media posts which pin MP Zake Francis against parliamentary language used through his social media accounts to belittle the Deputy Speaker Anita Among, the move to censure Kenyena Municipality MP Francis Zake has met resistance after UCC failed to verify the ownership of the social media accounts of MP Zake. Officials from UCC told the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline that Facebook and Twitter have restrictions provided by technology firms based in the US. It follows failure to retrieve the alleged posts which, according to UCC, were deleted by the person who posted it on Twitter and Facebook, and as restrictions in Uganda can only be accessed using VPN. The probe being investigated by Parliamentary Committee follows a complaint raised by Badeji Lydia Division, Martin Mapenduzi, who proposed to move a motion to have MP Zake removed from the Parliamentary Commission, accusing him of using his social media accounts to belittle Deputy Speaker Anita Among. MP Zake, during the last written submission to Parliamentary Committee, chaired by Bugweri County MP Abdu Katuntu, questioned the jurisdiction of the committee to investigate matters which he alleges is outside Parliament. Now move over to our international stories.
And on the international scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky urges Russian President Vladimir Putin to sit down for talks while calling for more international support. And Russian troops edge closer to Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in Nkunda, where mayor says shots have been heard. And Ukrainian and Russian negotiators agree to a tentative plan to create humanitarian corridor. Putin says Russia's military operations in Ukraine are going to plan. While Kherson is under Russian control, other cities, including the capital, Kyiv, northeastern Kharkiv, and Mariupol in the southeast, continue to be attacked. And more than 1 million people have fled Ukraine amid Russia's assault, according to the United Nations. Ukrainian authorities have said the safety of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant was now secured after a fire broke out when the station came under fire from Russian forces. The director of the plant said that the nuclear safety is now guaranteed. According to those responsible for the plant, a training building and a laboratory were affected by the fire. Alexander Starku, head of the military administration of the Zaporizhia region, said on Facebook. And still on the international scene, President Vladimir Putin has insisted Russia's military advance in Ukraine is going to plan as Kyiv and Moscow agreed to create humanitarian corridors for civilians to escape the Russian invasion. After the fall of the first major Ukrainian city to Russian forces, Putin on Thursday appeared in no mood to head a global clamor for hostilities to end as the war entered its second week. Putin again said Russia was rooting out neo-Nazis, adding during the televised opening of a National Security Council meeting that he will never give up on his conviction that Russians and Ukrainians are one people. Putin's statements aim to try to convince the Russian population that things are absolutely going according to plan, reiterating the narrative that they are fighting a good fight in Ukraine and that they are doing it for the security of their own country. Now, Pope Francis will visit South Sudan in July after repeatedly delaying his trip due to security concerns in a country still emerging from a post-independence civil war. A statement from the Vatican on Thursday said the Pope would be in South Sudan July 5th to 7th after visiting the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that will be in July from the 2nd to the 5th on the same trip. Now in South Sudan, he will visit the capital, Juba, and in the Democratic Republic of Congo, he will visit Kinshasa and Goma. And in July 2011, South Sudan officially split from Sudan, but civil war erupted 2 years later, causing about 400,000 deaths. The two main sides signed a peace deal in 2018. Now, analysts say that while the peace deal halted horrific violence, there are several unresolved issues, such as stalled reunification of the national army that could plunge the country back into widespread conflict. For years, the Pope has wanted to visit South Sudan, a predominantly Christian country, but the trip has been repeatedly postponed because of the instability right there. And in 2019, Pope Francis hosted South Sudan's opposing leaders at a Vatican retreat where he knelt and kissed their feet as he urged them not to return to conflicts.
And in the weather and climate news, climate experts predict tough times ahead as drought conditions continue. Now, despite this week's heavy rainfall, most of Oregon is still an ongoing drought, with Central Oregon facing the most severe conditions in the state. Climate experts from Oregon, Washington, and Ohio shared an update on Thursday that shows that 74% of the Pacific Northwest is seeing drought conditions, with 18% of the region experiencing exceptional drought. Now, they predict that the drought conditions this summer will even be worse than they were in the last 2 years, in which the Northwest saw withering crops, drying fish, and empty water wells. Central Oregon could see its wildfire season start as early as May, as they said, with water shortages that could impact farmers, crops, and livestock. Now, in Oregon, at least 10 counties from the Shamar County down to Kalamath County are seeing exceptional drought conditions, which are creating water emergencies such as dried up wells and water shortages in reservoirs and streams. Although the recent atmospheric river brought heavy rains across much of the region, the longer stretches with no rain have made drought conditions even worse. Many of these areas impacted by the drought would need 150 to 200% of more than the normal precipitation over the next 2 months to also go through the drought conditions. Now, the National Integrated Drought Information System from NOAA said that the livelihood of this happening is very low, and Oregon State University climatologist Larry O'Neill said that the drought has been steady for the past 2 years, and each consecutive year the impact has been greater.
Well, every single time I hear news concerning climate, I start to worry. I don't know where we're going to be. I don't know where we're headed as a country, as a globe, but at least I know that I have to do my part. Well, still Good Morning Uganda Friday edition, special edition. And I do have Valarheey here, very wonderful artist, very beautiful artist. One of the stories actually caught my eye, Valarheey, here where Pope Francis is actually coming to visit South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo in July. You remember, were you around when the Pope came to visit Uganda?
I don't think so.
Oh my God! No, you don't.
Recall.
you make me feel old now. I can't really be old. I can't be that old. But I think it would be really a very, very big deal. Imagine that, Pop, we rarely see some of these people in African countries.
That's true.
Do you not think that it's actually going to be a big deal if he's going to visit South Sudan, especially considering that they've been going through a lot of the insecurities, instabilities? Do you think it's a big deal?
It would be a really big deal.
Yeah.
Such a beacon of hope, especially for the active Catholics in the country.
Yes.
You know, to have one of their major leaders be present for them would be such a huge thing.
It would be very, very major. And actually he did talk about, you know, Christians really began their Lent on Wednesday.
Yes.
We're going through it.
We're active.
Yes. and his message was that we use this Lent period to, you know, reflect especially on this Ukrainian-Russian war. So I think for him to step into South Sudan is just another way to show us that, you know what, we don't have to exclude these countries. We need to give them some hope. We need to give them, you know, to show them that anything and everything can be done. Even after, by the way, his trip had been postponed on several occasions. Well, I hope that actually happens. This is bound to happen in July, and he will also be visiting the Democratic Republic of Congo. He will still be going through. We can only hope nothing, really, this time round, nothing happens and it goes all the way. Well, we still are happening. We have a lot that will be coming in. We'll be having a major discussion in the next hour where we'll be talking about women in the entertainment industry. And of course, you know that March is the month of women. The ladies here, Mollen, Valarheey, I don't know, Rob.
When we talk about Women's Day, it feels like, you know, this is the time. But women do get a lot of holidays in a year. I can tell you that.
No, I haven't enough. Do you think we get very many holidays?
This world is no balance when it comes to this gender.
We could use some more.
Yes, we could use some more holidays apart from Mother's Day and International Women's Day. I feel like aside from 8th March, all the days are for the men.
Yes. Then how do you celebrate? Because, for example, Women's Day is really celebrated. There's even a national function. Districts celebrate that particular day. In homes, some women will tell you, I'm doing nothing because it is Women's Day. Mother's Day is equally celebrated that much. Valentine's, this gender thinks it is them to receive gifts, to be pampered.
We try to balance that one out for this year's Valentine's, honestly.
I wonder if all the days are our days, then how often do we celebrate them? I've never heard anything like, okay, there is Father's Day, but also that very few men are appreciated. Yeah, at the end of the day, you don't know if any woman was to fit in the shoes of a man, they would understand how far they go to fend for the families,
but you know,
they do,
Robert,
and all that.
You cannot bring in that kind of argument. I believe that everyone has their, you know, they have their pack of responsibilities. Men have their own responsibilities to, you know, uptake. Women have their own responsibilities, even children. So you can't bring in that line of argument.
And you see also the fact that when you're talking about celebrating women, I'm telling you, Robert, I'm going to refer this to the Bible right from the very start. God saw that Adam was not going to be alone and needed someone to help him out. So while you're celebrating Women's Day, you're celebrating the fact that you got that privilege to have someone to come into your life and be a helper.
And you know who said that?
So you shouldn't be complaining.
Okay.
In summary, even when there was trouble, even when there was trouble, it is trouble you needed, apparently. God saw that you needed this help and gave you the help in your life. So don't complain.
You've opened, I think, a tin of worms. Because when you talk about the Bible and how God saw that man would not live alone. So God, Eve from around here. Around here.
But
then later, all the troubles mankind has had up to today is because of someone that came from here.
Troubles that you actually caused
for. I would
if you had showed God that you don't need the help, if you had showed God that you didn't need the help,
not Adam, the serpent saw that, okay, if I'm to execute my mission, let me look for Eve. Adam will not. And then Eve tactfully convinced.
I just really want to find out from Valarheey. Valarheey, tell us, do you think actually we cause trouble in men's lives?
No.
And even if we do you not think it's necessary?
They cause their own trouble.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You should have the strong will to resist the trouble that you think we are starting.
Coming from the mastermind of being a lady.
This argument will never be put to bed. But when we get back, we'll be discussing more. This year's theme actually for the International Women's Day is going to be breaking the bias. Now, we've seen very many women fight a lot of stereotypes. We've seen women fight a lot of hindrances and blockades in all sectors, the economy, leadership, management, entertainment. Now, we're going to be focusing on that in the next hour. We'll be getting into some of the nitty-gritty, some of the things that people have really ignored. And I will be with Mollen. We'll be putting this up to the table. And of course, we'll be expecting some of your feedback on our social media, because we'll be finding out from you, do you think women have managed to traverse through the entertainment sector in Uganda? Definitely, we'll be sharing your views with the rest of the world. We'll go for a short break, but Good Morning Uganda returns right after that.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Total Energies has undertaken a number of initiatives aimed at ensuring Ugandan entities and citizens adequately equipped to participate.
We have currently secured contracts with Total Energies in $5 million. Total Energies has assisted us in our capacity building in the bidding process, understanding the national content requirement through various workshops that we have participated in, and also connecting us to potential contractors. So Total provided training, specifically VPHR, for all our staff who build capacity of our in-house trainers.
Total Energies EP Uganda is committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development of the oil project in Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Raising voices.
I feel happy when my mother spends time with me. I hope all mothers will like my mother. I want my mother to reach out to all mothers. She knows how important it is to be a good mother. I promise to help my mother inspire other mothers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Uganda, Office of the President.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you for joining us once again right here in Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And of course, like I promised you, we're going to be getting into some of the topics that have been up for discussion. And considering that it is the month of women, we're going to be discussing women in the entertainment industry, of course, especially here Uganda. Well, this year's theme is going to be breaking the bias, and we would love to know, we're actually going to be discussing, has that happened here in the entertainment industry in Uganda? Have women been able to break the bias in the entertainment industry right here in Uganda? Of course, with some references to the international scene. Well, I do have fellow ladies with me on the panel this morning. I do have a very special guest, Valarheey. Considering that she's in the entertainment industry, of course, she'll probably be giving us a few of the insights here and there. And Mollen, who will also be giving us more. I know she loves this entertainment thing. It's her thing. And maybe to start off the discussion this morning, and I'll start off with you, Mollen. This year's theme is going to be breaking the bias. Okay, for the women. Do you think that, what is your general overview about the women in the entertainment industry? Do you think that we have hit it? Tuchikubye, have we gotten there yet?
I feel like, yes, we have actually gotten there. However, when we talk about bias, I feel like we have been the silent, people in the entertainment industry. We have done well, we have gotten there, but we are not recognized.
So that's the thing. Like, having been in the entertainment industry as a woman,
Yes.
you feel like there is a lot you have to do to measure up to the standards that men have set up. But even once you get there, you'll find that the brands that are coming out are mostly known are going to be the guys.
Yes.
So I feel like generally there is still that gap that has to be curbed, especially when it comes to recognition. However, we've also had some great women really come up and make it through. We've had we have film directors, we have musicians, we have DJs, we have in every sector of the entertainment we have women there. But the challenge has been on the fact that it has not been recognized, and that's my general view.
Yeah, we actually do have some female DJs, but I feel like they really have to put in extra work to make sure that they beat their counterparts. They're really they're coming up, quite a number of them, but again, you see the struggle. They have to fight for the audience, they have to fight for the market, and which it's I mean I guess it's
I was reading about one of the DJs, the first female DJ actually we had here in Uganda. She's called DJ Rachel, and she played in the 1990s at then Club Silk.
Yes.
And this is the first woman who came out to just shine. Like, people were like, okay, so we can have female DJs.
Absolutely.
Imagine, like, Silk then, people would come to her and be like, okay, this is a female DJ. So you stand out at that point, but then later the recognition just goes in as history. And, but that is an inspiration to even the DJs that we have who are women right now, going through the industry. So yes, they're also there.
Well, it's quite interesting, and of course, the main issue is for us to break some of these stereotypes. When a female DJ comes up just like that, everybody's wondering, what is she going to deliver? Is she actually going to deliver? Really, does she even have the capacity? Which brings me to you, Valarheey. Considering that you are in this industry, do you think that we have, in one way or another, shaped it as the female gender, our gender?
I think you've just spoken about female DJs. I find that one of the things that I realize the most is for you to be a female DJ and succeed at this point, you're not only battling against your counterparts, you're battling against people thinking that you're not talented, that you're just piggybacking off your beauty or your sexuality. So you find that the forces against you are a lot greater than for our male counterparts. But I do believe that we are breaking the mold. I do see certain DJs just continuing to put in the work and being the best at their craft, continuously striving to be better. And so, yeah, we'll get there. It will take a while, but we'll get there.
Absolutely. Actually, according to some of the international statistics, we have about women comprising 20% of all directors, writers, producers, executive producers, editors, and cinematographers working the top 100 domestic grossing films of about 2019. Now, these were statistics of 2019-2020. But when you look at 20%, 100, we still have a lot to do. We have like about 80, well, not that we're going to dominate it like 100%.
True.
But if we're going to make it a 50-50 kind of percentage, that clearly shows you that we have a lot of work to do. But Mollen, in terms of filling these gaps, what do you think that we can actually do? How can we help ourselves as women? But also, how can we, outsource help from these other, even our male counterparts? What do you think would be the best way to make sure we fill some of these gaps?
So for me, I do think that still it comes through across having the effort that is needed to be there, because once you're given an opportunity and you can take on something in entertainment, all you have to do is make sure you thrive at it, make sure you're doing better, because once you make it less, then you're going to have all these comparisons. So I think for us, we have to put in a lot of energy, versus our male counterpart, because for it, at least that is a job that is known. Because I was also looking through some of the women that have made it in the film industry, and have not been recognized. So imagine one lady who is Kenyena Coutinho is an art entrepreneur, and she has made it in entertainment, and was recently recognized, I think 2018, when she was recognized for the short film, the best short film, also in Pan-African Festival that is organized by the US. So this is a Ugandan coming out, and she's also at least the CEO of the Akadop, if you've heard of the Akadop. So
Kenyena has actually been shining through, but if you look at the art entrepreneurship within that, is that she has had to do all these things. You're the CEO of certain events, you have to go through film and directing all those short films. But on the Ugandan scene, the recognition is less. You can see the festivals that she has been recognized for her work are mostly the international ones. So I think for us here in Uganda, we also have to hail to our talent. And before doing that, it's going to have to take the effort of you as a woman in the entertainment industry. You look at some of the producers in film that have been there, the Sarah Nafukas of this world, who have had to produce movies, but at the local content, you just have to make sure that you attach to the big organizations that have been there. So yes, the males have put the standard to that level, but what can you do to make sure you also measure up? You have to make sure you're working with them, because the moment you start up something, even if it means production, and you're not in line with what has been going on, it's going to have to put that pressure on you. But also we have to learn to work with each other, because the moment you actually want to shine through and your work is not being recognized by even the male counterparts, it's always not going to have reference. And in entertainment, I've learned that it's all about reference. As long as you have done something and someone can refer to it, and right now, like we're saying, okay, the Akadope, oh, so this is the woman behind, this famous. It's going to have to start with reference over there. So that's where we need to also put in the work and make sure we're working with the right people, right organizations to make our work shine through.
I'd like to add to that.
Yes.
I think one of the things that we can actually do, you've mentioned Kenyena, and for me that's, I don't know, memory triggering, because one of my first, let's call it a big break, was actually Akadope.
Oh, great.
Interestingly,
Very
and I find that opportunity, I don't think she specifically did it because I was a woman, but if you go out of your way to create spaces where other women are able to break through in the industry that you have broken through, which is something that Kemi continues to do.
Yes.
Even when she did like the 5 for 5, the short films that centered on highlighting women in film. I find that if you're in a position where you have achieved a certain level of success, just do that for someone else. Be able to pay it forward. Create an environment where someone else can thrive or strive. They might be bigger than you eventually, but you would have played a part in their success story.
Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's all about not being very, very selfish. When you get there, just open the doors for other people. Well, the question is running on our social media, and we'd love to hear from you. Do you think that women in the entertainment industry in Uganda have been given the platform to actually showcase their talent, which actually also I really want us to discuss? Now, we know that women really have to kind of fight for their space, but have we been given that space anyway, or do we continue to struggle to get that space? From what you've seen, artists everywhere, by the way, the arts industry everywhere, the entertainment, do you think we're still in the struggle, or maybe the opportunities are there but we just don't see them?
I would think that it is still a struggle. We still have to fight for that space,
because we still have a lot of discrimination, at least according from some of the reports, international reports, and by the way, this is like globally. There is a discrimination. We also even have colorism in some countries. We have racism, where some of these women of color are just not given top priority, because you're a woman of color. What are you going to bring to the table? Your content cannot be related to by our nationals.
That's true.
I mean, you look at even the biggest brands that we have internationally, the Beyoncés, who have been there, they have made it through internationally, but they're still going to have to fight for that. Every day they're fighting racist comments on their brand. So Rihanna comes out and she shows her belly, and and it's a big talk, and people are even quoting of the color that the baby is going to look like. and you're like, this is not called for. But once a white lady posts that, it's just going to be all over the place. So it has had to take them a lot of effort to even get to that level, to get that space within the entertainment industry, even internationally. So even when you break through, it's still going to be a struggle. But there's also one positive thing about women that I like, is that when someone stands up to do something, they always give it their best.
Oh yes.
And Valarheey did bring out a good point of lifting each other. So I think as women, even when we're talking about going up and getting our space, it's all about lifting each other. Because once you get that platform and you're not helping other women get there, then it's going to also pave way for that kind of judgment that says, maybe women are mediocre. But guess what? women have actually shaped a lot of things in this country and internationally. And once that recognition is there, it's just a matter of time before the males actually are caught off guard. Like, yeah, the women are doing it much better. So we're still going to have to fight for that space, but I think we've also done great in making sure that people recognize that we're doing work. Yes. I mean, look at the artists that we have here in Uganda, the Shibas, the Remas. It's been in an industry filled with all this good music coming from women. You look at concerts that are being organized in Uganda. Count the number of women that are on that concert.
Probably on the lineup.
Exactly. You will see that it's mostly ladies on that platform. So yes. I say we're doing great.
I love that you talk about performances. Now, this is one of the topics probably that is that holds a bit of sensitivity to it. Women performing on stages. We've seen quite a number of female artists come under fire because of probably the way they dress. And this also goes along. We've seen fans try to, I don't know how I can call this.
Sexual harassment?
Yes, sexually harassing them while they are performing. But you know, when you talk to certain people, they will tell you sometimes these women bring it upon themselves, the way they dress. But we've also seen some of these females really handle the issues. They take the matters into their hands. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I feel like it has had to come with the century. I don't know whether it's the millennials, I don't want to quote that. But it has been a trend that is ongoing. So, and some of the things we have had to copy from the Western culture, because when you see the way Beyonce is going to be on stage, you know, she's almost half naked, and you think that is the trend. So you forget that she is in the US, and for them it's okay. So you also bring it to the Ugandan stage, it's going to look in a certain kind of way. But you also have artists who have had to fight people on stage. I won't mention names, but just because of the way they are dressed, men, or some of those men, I want to quote them, not every man will do that, have had to take advantage of that. I mean, just because she's putting on something short doesn't mean you have the audacity to go and touch them. Yes. Because that is harassment. But we also have to be considerate of our audiences. So I think maybe to the performing artists, you need to know your audience, and you need to know where you are exactly. Because there are big organizations where they will call you big events. Maybe you have you know, politicians or loyalty, then you know which kind of wares you have to put on. But when you're back maybe in a club, maybe it's okay there, but you have to recognize your audience. But also it shouldn't be something to be taken advantage of. You can't blame sexual harassment on the fact that someone was dressed in a kind of way. We're not animals. I mean, behave.
So maybe just to bounce it off to you, Valarheey, what do you have to say about that?
I think, okay, I have a pressing, you know, statement from before when we were talking about being given. Yes. So first of all, I think every woman who's successful in the entertainment industry is the kind of person who has the mindset that we are not supposed to be given a platform, but we create our own platform.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And as you create your own platform, the world will eventually hear you. So in terms of dressing, I do believe that there's a very thin line, which is true. It's a very thin line between me being able to express myself however I'd want to, let's say in terms of what I'm wearing, because unfortunately, the male counterparts in the industry are not held to the same standards that we are. Granted, they're probably not going to dress as risque as we would, but you know, it's not fair that we have to put all these things into consideration. But like you said, I really do believe you're right in terms of you need to know your audience. Yes. Is it culturally appropriate? It's like, I know well enough to, let's say, if I was going to perform in Buganda Kingdom, whatever I'm wearing better be sweeping the ground. Honestly,
you cannot risk it being way above the knees.
You have to. So you have to be conscious of where it is you're going to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also think it zeroes down to your morality as an individual. Just because the woman isn't this and it doesn't give you the permission, or you know, it doesn't give you the you know, the audacity to do what you're supposed to do. She's indecent. Well, that's bad already as it is. But you cannot make the situation any worse. So I think it gets back to your moral standards, you as an individual. Well, as we come to the conclusion of this, what would be your parting shots, Valarheey?
To the females in the industry?
Everyone, because I believe the society just has something to do with the women, men, and everybody else.
I think if you are trying to get into the entertainment industry, or you're trying to carve your space in the entertainment industry, there's no guide map which is something that's very unfortunate. It's not like when you go to school, you know, I'm going to do primary education, secondary, then I do university, and then I'll do this. It's the kind of thing that you figure out as you go. So do your best and just, like I said, create your own space, create your own table. Eventually, if you're giving it everything that you possibly could, the world will make space for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mollen, your parting shots.
Well, I say you give it more than 100%. You can't settle for 100 because I think we've learned from history that men will, you know, always feel the privilege of having to take on tasks. But guess what? As a woman, if you are starting up a business, if you're just going to be an entrepreneur, make sure you're doing it more than 100%. Create that space for yourself because you can't, you know, wait for someone to do that for you. But once you do create a space, also make sure that you thrive at it. Don't even listen to this criticism or the skepticism around it. Just make sure that you're giving it your best, and before you know it, you're actually going to get there and you're going to inspire a lot of women coming up. So it's all about the inspiration, it's all about what you're creating for the future. So go for it, just make sure you thrive and watch them. Yeah.
Well, the fight is far from over. We're still fighting. If the platform and the opportunity is not given to you, well, create it yourself.
Yeah.
We go for a short break. When we get back, we have a special performance that will be coming in from Valarheey. I don't know, will you be giving us something as women? We are going to really make this all about us.
All about women.
No apologies about that. But yes, when we get back up to the break, there is a very, very interesting performance that we'll be having from Valarheey right here for the women out there.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Raising voices.
I feel happy when my mother spends time with me. I hope all mothers will like my mother. I want my mother to reach out to all mothers. She knows how important it is to be a good mother. I promise to help my mother inspire other mothers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Did you know that just wearing a mask is not enough? Yes, correctly wearing a mask will protect you and others, but you still have to remember to wash your hands with clean running water and soap, or using a sanitizer, socially distance, and avoid crowded areas. Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to 0.
Raising voices.
As a mother, my children depend on me to make this world a safer place for them. I'm not afraid to act when I see violence in the home and in my community. I promise to talk to my neighbors and friends about how we can nurture and protect the children.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Double MBs for the same price on daily bundles with Airtel. Now you get double MBs for twice your enjoyment. For 250 shillings, you now get double. That's 30 MBs. For only 500 shillings, you get 80 MBs. And for 1,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy 180 MBs. All valid for 24 hours. Dial star 175 hash or use the My Airtel app to enjoy double MBs on your daily bundles for the exact same price. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Total Energy take a number of initiatives that ensuring that Ugandan entities and citizens are adequately equipped to participate in.
We have secured contracts with Total Energies and Mark Demott in excess of $3.5 million. Total Energies has assisted us in our capacity building in the bidding process, understanding the national content requirement through various workshops that we have participated in, and also connecting us to potential contractors. Total provided specifically VPSHR for all staff who work, also capacity of our in-house trainers.
Total Energies EP Uganda committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development in Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Uganda, Office of the President.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Did you know that just wearing a mask is not enough? Yes, correctly wearing a mask will protect you and others, but you still have to remember to wash your hands with clean running water and soap, or using a sanitizer, socially distance, and avoid crowded areas. Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to 0.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
This one is because we just talked about the Pope, honestly.
God had a name, what would it be, and would you call it to his face? If you were faced with him and all his glory, what would you ask if you had just one question? And yeah, God is good, and yeah, God is great, and yeah, one of us, just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. If God had a face, what would it look like and would you wanna see? If seeing meant that we would have to believe in things like heaven and in Jesus and the saints and all the prophets, and yeah, God is good, oh yeah, God is great, oh yeah. What if God was one of us, just a star like one of us, just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home, just trying to make his way home. Back up to heaven all alone, nobody calling on the phone, save for the Pope maybe in Rome.
Awesome. Women's Month, so in spite of all the challenges, this one just goes to remind you that we are going forward continuously, and we keep fighting.
Erinnya lyange olisize nfuufu, gambya abantu ebyennyanja byange byentunda bifundu, magoba gange gakukwasa ensala, so nga maanyi gange lwaki oyagala kufuna mangu, oyagala bineme ebyange byonooneke, abaguzi badduke nze nfirwe gonyumirwe. Oh, ebirungi biri maaso, oh, ngenda maaso, oh, ebirungi biri maaso, oh, ngenda maaso, ebirungi biri maaso, ngenda maaso, ebirungi biri maaso. Watunda mandazi, wadde olina akagaali, beera n'amaanyi, omuwanvu n'omumpi, omuddugavu n'omweru, beera n'amaanyi, ngenda maaso, ebirungi biri maaso, ngenda maaso, ebirungi biri maaso.
While Roy adjusts. So the last one is, definitely about how strong we are as women, and I hope that this song is something that can remind you and empower you just to how great you are, really.
nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head in sorrow, state of humanity. I wear it on my shoulders. Gotta find the best of me, 'cause I am Superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And even when I'm a mess, I still put in the best with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes, I am. For all the women trying to make their ends meet, and all the mothers gunning to make it home before the day leaves. And all my sisters coming together. Yeah, say yes I am, 'cause I am Superwoman. Oh yes I am. Yes I am. And even when I'm a mess, I still put in the best with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes, I am. I am Superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. 'Cause even when I'm a mess, I still put in the vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Whoa, really very, I pick a very good message right there. Even when I'm a mess, I am still a superwoman.
Yeah.
We are amazing. We are amazing. Very beautiful piece coming in from you, Valarheey. Now let's talk about your music. Actually, before we get into the music, what was the name of that song again?
Which one? Superwoman?
Superwoman.
Yeah, Superwoman.
Superwoman. Every woman is a superwoman in their own way.
Yeah.
In their own way. Well, you do realize that we don't only have Valarheey. Aside from the beautiful vocals, there is something nice that is coming in from this gentleman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You've been doing your work silently, but it has been very, you know, it's been standing out.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Very much. Roy.
Roy.
It's Roy.
Ah, you really know how to work your way around this. All right, so Valarheey, how long have you been doing this music?
I always think that's a trick question.
Uh-huh.
So I would say publicly in the Ugandan music scene since 2017.
2017.
Give or take.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's very, I used to do it very laissez-faire.
You do it passively.
Part-time, passively.
Ah,
yeah. So.
Okay. So you actually, when we were talking earlier on, you did talk about doing something with Akadope. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you worked with any other artists?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think, so Akadope, the platform itself introduced me to quite a number of people.
Yes.
For the stint that I did there, you know, that was the time I got to sing backup for like Benon and Vampos,
yes,
for example, which are, you know, Ugandan music veterans.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I've definitely met a lot of what we call new Kampala artists. So collaborated maybe with projects that haven't come out yet, or just worked behind the scenes.
Yes.
JC Muyonjo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Abasa. Let me see. To name names.
But it's very interesting that you have quite a whole lot of work in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Which is very, very encouraging. So I just really want to find out from you, how, for the years that you have been in this music industry, how would you rate yourself? How do you think that, okay, the hardships, how have you been able to traverse them? Because I know anybody, especially when it comes to the people who are usually doing the backup and what, because I've been able to talk to quite a number of backup artists. I can't mention names though. And yeah, but they tell you it's never an easy experience. Is that true? Depends on the artist that you're working with.
Yeah, because I cannot say that I have fully done backup work completely.
Yes.
I've definitely done it a bit here and there, but I haven't had a stint of time where I was like a full-on backup vocalist to get the full experience.
Okay.
I will say that some of my hardships have come from a lot of, there's definitely been a lot of backlash in the sense that I could be doing more with my music.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so, and I guess that's a good problem to have. And now it's a vote of...
It's a constructive problem.
Yes, it's a very constructive criticism. Like, you could do so much more than you're doing. It's like, you're not serious. You're still playing around.
You're still...
you don't know what you want.
You have a lot of potential, but you just don't know it yet.
Tapped into it.
Okay. So how would you categorize the kind of music you do, or the kind of music that you want to do? What genres are you looking at? Or are you the kind of person that actually does all kinds of music? You're very flexible, diverse? Or?
Mostly. I don't like to be put in a box. So I definitely do want to explore as many genres as I possibly would. But I will tell you that everyone who listens to me sing automatically places me in the soul category.
Oh.
Yeah, so I get that a lot. So I'm like, okay, so soul singer.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's how I identify.
Well, your music kind of actually speaks in that line. And we have very few soul musicians in Uganda. Very few.
True.
So guess more reason for you to stand out.
Maybe. We'll see where it goes.
Well, I still do have Valarheey and Roy right here with me. But right now, because it is Good Morning Friday special edition, where we get to, concentrate more on the entertainment bit and to loosen up. And that is where Mollen comes in, because she will be giving us quite a whole lot of, some of, what do they call it? Plots? Yes. So she'll be giving us some of these movies that you need to look out for, what is showing where and when. And also she'll be giving us, if you are a book junkie, you love a good book, you want to sit somewhere as you sip on that glass of wine, juice, water, whatever, tea, and you want to have a good book in your hands, she will be giving you a recommendation what you should be reading during this weekend, but also what's happening. The last couple of weeks we've been crazy with concerts here and there, having all these Nigerian artists get into the country and having plans and plots and all that. I don't know, Valarheey, where have you been?
At home.
At home? No.
At home.
Haven't you got enough of home? 2 years? We've been under lockdown. And
I feel like the most that I've done is I recently started a residence. So now I've got like a lounge that I sing at. That's the most I'm leaving the house.
But you know what? I don't blame you, because I totally relate to that. I'm such a homebody as well. I would rather be